I think about what we did in Northern Ireland, and I think about the incredible timing of me running now at a time when there is a chance, really a chance, to solve this issue. Now you might say, well, how? Well, there's a lot more talk going on now than there was 10 years ago. And now they've exposed the British for what they are. You know, I made a statement, and I'll say it now to you because it was one of the things I think that got the Clancy brothers, the Clancy tradition here, because it was on Pat Delamere's show. Remember that? You said, Joe, what do you, say a few words about Northern Ireland. By the way, you gave them all easy questions. You gave me the toughest subject of all on that show, Northern Ireland. Not easy to talk about. But let me tell you what I said, because it ended up getting us the wonderful music we have here tonight. Because they said after that, Joe, that was a great statement. You know, if you ever do anything, we want to support you. And here's what I said. That the partition of Ireland is a crime against history and democracy. And it has to be resolved. And I further said that there's only one great power in that part of the world, and that's England. England holds all the cards. England has to resolve to solve it, or it doesn't get resolved. And so far, they've been playing games. They don't want to resolve it. Let me give you an example. Albert Reynolds is no longer the Prime Minister. Why? When he started making sense, when he started showing that there could be a way to resolve this, looking at history and looking forward, he said something. Thank God I got good advisors to do my research. Is Liam Murphy here tonight? No. But Liam came with me to Northern Ireland, drove me there, taught me about every Irish battle, every bridge we went over, from Dublin to Belfast. And one of the things that I understood from Liam was that back in 1922, there was an Anglo-Irish treaty. And that treaty said that Ireland would be petitioned for only 5 years. I wonder how many of you know that it was only for 5 years. When Albert Reynolds started talking that way and started making sense, the English government made trouble for him and they had to get him out of there. So that tells you that England doesn't really want to solve this problem. And that's why we've got to lobby Mr. Clinton. I don't know who's going to be president, but let's face it. We got to go for the people who support the issues. And right now, President Clinton has made all the right moves on Ireland. You know, he may not have made some other moves, but on that one he has. But no matter who's president, they better start putting the pressure on the British government, England, to solve this problem. Right? But you know what? It's been the other way around. I'm sorry to say. I was a member of the Republican Party with Bush and Reagan. And here we have Meese overriding Judge Sprizzo, who said Joe Doherty, however you want to pronounce it, one of the greatest, smartest judges of all, John Sprizzo, federal court, said this was a political situation and the man should be granted political asylum here. Reagan didn't buy it. Bush didn't buy it. Remember Meese? Meese did everything, and before Bush got out of office, they put Joe Doherty on a plane and sent him to England. Well, I went to visit him in the jail. In fact, I went to see his mother with him and his sister, and I brought them home to see you, Mom. And I still have some correspondence with him. What a shame. But you know what that was all about? We were implementing the foreign policy of England here in America. Can you imagine that? That's what we were doing. That's the hold that the British government had on us. Why? Don't tell me. I don't know. Maybe we needed a stronger Irish lobby. I have the same situation right now with our great Albanian friends, and I'm going to introduce a few of them because they came all the way to Macedonia. I didn't know I was going to go to Washington yesterday and the day before, but I had to, because things are boiling there again. People are being arrested for no good reason. We got to stand up for that kind of thing. Stand up for human rights, wherever it is. So I don't think there's ever been a better time for me to go back, especially on the Irish issue. England does hold all the cards. I think there was one Irishman that was asked, who was part of the Fort Worth Five, I forgot his name, oh, Ken Tierney. Ken Tierney. They asked him, what would it take to solve the issue of Ireland? You know what he said? Charles de Gaulle. Now that was a strange comment. So they said, well, what do you mean Charles de Gaulle? Well, because when Charles de Gaulle got to be president of France, he had his Northern Ireland. It was called Algeria. And he made a decision that Algeria was not France and got its troops out of there. Well, we need a brave British politician, maybe it's John Majors, maybe it's somebody else we don't know, to say the same thing. Northern Ireland is not England. Get the British troops out. And then you'll see how fast this situation is resolved. Now, if you like what I'm saying, you're going to love to hear me in Congress. Get me there, and you'll hear me giving that speech in the well on my 1-minute speeches in a day. Don't forget, Congressman for personal privilege. Every day, a 1-minute speech before Congress begins, and after Congress ends, you can give up to an hour speech for special orders. I know I'm going to help the Albanian people that way. I'd be delighted to get out there and kick some butt and see if we can get the British government to understand what it has to do to bring peace there, to get rid of some of this frustration that's causing now this violence. Nobody supports violence, but how long can you take this kind of frustration? So I hope they got the message. In any case, thank you.